Hey there everybody, thanks for all the engagement. Sherman here, focusing this video on the dash. If any of you have heard it, it's a poem, it's also a book. Basically the concept is you're born at a certain time, you die at a certain time, and on your headstone there's basically a dash. So a buddy of mine, best friend from college, went out to Fredericksburg. We walked around the old downtown, and one of the things that we did was go to a cemetery. Now, again, the note's morbid, but just go with me on this story, okay? So we walk around the cemetery and we start looking at some of the headstones, and I'm amazed at some of the different things that people decide to put on the headstones of people that they care about, they love about. And so one of the ones that I was amazed by was this huge tower, right? It's granite. I mean, it's 1910 was basically when the person had passed away. So it's over 107 years old, and this thing is just in pristine shape. So obviously they did not like go weak on this thing. They definitely spent a lot of money on the granite or whatever was used. I'm not a stone dude, okay? So the interesting thing about it is he talked about exactly who this person was from the perspective of different titles, right? Father, husband, business owner, businessman, was very respected. Also was a captain in the military. So there was a lot of different ways to describe this individual. And so where I go from that thought process is, how will you describe yourself? So one of the exercises I recently did in the leadership course that I took, Life and Leadership Institute, and it was actually a program that was formulated by Stephen Covey, if those of you that know the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the life insurance industry was to be able to do, encourage people on how to have leadership. And so one of the things that they have you do is start with the end in mind, and the ultimate end, the end of your life. And if you were to be there and at your own funeral, what would you want the people closest to you to say at your eulogy? What would they say across the pulpit or across to an entire audience about who you are? And ultimately, you start thinking about what you want your legacy to be to the people that are most intimate to you, and that's typically your closest friends, your closest family members. And what would they be saying about you? And you write this down, and you basically start really evaluating who you'd be. The interesting thing about the organization, this Lily class that I did, is that you actually read that eulogy, what you wrote, what you want your most intimate relationships to say about you, and then you just share that with the group. And it's amazing, actually, for some people, it got them really choked up. Some people totally did cry, and it wasn't about they're crying about their end of life. What they were crying about was just the relationship that they had with these individuals and what they would be thinking about them when they passed away, and of course the love that they had for those individuals as well. And so I think about that for yourself. Like, what would your dash say? What would you want it to be said on a headstone? What would you want people to say about you when it comes to just the different things, roles that you play in people's lives? And so there are different titles that we have, like son or daughter, father or mother, sibling. Those titles never change, right? So even though in career you might have different titles of what people call you from when you start out to when you decide to retire, but the titles that we have in family basically stay exactly the same, and they often get added to. From mother it goes to grandfather, or mother it probably goes to grandmother, but you know the context of what I'm going at here. And so as you think about what it is that you want your legacy to be, it goes a little bit beyond just what you want to do in life. It definitely goes to this idea of, I want something to be said of me. I want legacy. And so I hope that anyone that's watching, you can find your own legacy and you can align your daily actions to where you want to go. Have a fantastic day, everybody.